Hi everybody, it's Laura with Jot and Tittle Vintage Typewriters. This is a quick, just a basic tutorial for an Electra 120. This is a late 60s, early 70s model, and nothing extra here today other than I am going to go over how to adjust when your letters are out of alignment, and then go over the ribbon. So if you have one of these, and it doesn't have to, the front doesn't have to look exactly the same, but if you have an Electra 120, even a 110, this is really going to show you how to use it. All right, let's get started. Oh, and as we get started, if you could give me a thumbs up. I always forget to ask. I'm trying to remember. Thanks so much. Okay. So this is your carriage up here. The Electra 120 is an electric typewriter with a manual return. Now, there are a couple of versions of the Electra series. So you have a 110, a 120, a 210, and a 220. What that means, the 100 series means it is electric, but with a manual return. The 120 means the carriage is longer, so you can see how it goes out past the body of the typewriter. This will fit larger papers, which I always recommend for crafters because you never know what you want to type on, and sometimes it could be a little bit larger, and at least you have that flexibility in size. The 110, the carriage will end right here. It's shorter and will only fit the 8.5 by 11 or smaller. The 200 series doesn't have a manual return. It has a power button right here, and so it's got a power return, and that's the difference in the Electra's series, in case you wanted to know. Now we're going to be looking at the 120 today, so remember it's an extended carriage. To move the carriage manually, you have levers on each side behind the roller handles. You just pull that in, that carriage will pull to the left there. You have a paper holder that you can pop up. Your margins, you press and drag and set them to wherever you want. On the left side, you see a 1, 2, and 3. When you hit your return handle, that means it's going to advance 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines, whatever you prefer. On the right side, you have a paper release, and that comes in handy, as we'll show you right now. I'm going to go ahead and load this paper, and to load the paper, you just put it behind this flat piece and the ruler. Okay, and then you just put it in and you roll it. And if it's crooked, sometimes it is. This is actually pretty good. But if it was crooked, you would pull your paper release forward. You could move it around, set it where you need it, and then re-engage. Okay? So that is your paper release. I'm going to move the carriage over to the left and open up this top. And to open it, you just gently pull forward. Inside, you'll see a ribbon. Now, my husband put in a single color ribbon on this one, but the Electra 120s do take a 2-color ribbon. So when you put in a 2-color ribbon, make sure you have the black on the top and the red on the bottom. And then they just lift in and out very easy. So you just pop it in. So make sure it goes down all the way. And then you'll see this piece of metal. It's forked, kind of like that. Make sure that ribbon goes down in there for you. And it's very messy. So just be aware, either wear gloves or you're going to have to wash your hands afterwards. That ribbon is going to go around the top, around the back, and underneath. Same with this side, around the top, back, underneath. And here's that forked, that slit piece of metal. You want to make sure that ribbon goes through. I'm going to hold this up. If you need to take a screenshot or something, this is what your ribbon should look like when you thread it. Each typewriter is a little bit different as to how it threads, but you're going to want to look for a slit in this metal piece. This is the ribbon vibrator. Sometimes it's on the back in the middle, sometimes it's underneath, sometimes it's on top. This one, it's on top, and then you'll just want to work that ribbon down in there until It's nice and snug, and then you're good to go. Now keep in mind that your ribbon, when you are typing, it's going one direction. When you get to the end, it's not the end of the ink. All right, so you're going to want to reverse the direction of your ribbon, which you do right here. And you flip that down, and now you can type this way. The spools will move this way, and you'll get all the way to the end, and then you'll reverse the direction again. And you'll just reverse that ribbon back and forth multiple times till you use up all of the ink in that ribbon. All right, so let's go ahead and turn it on right here. It is where you turn it on. I usually let these sit for about 10 seconds or so just to get everything going. And I'm going to move in my margins. This is where you set your margins. And right here is you have tabs. And I already showed you the ribbon reversal. The copy set, that just determines how hard these type bars are going to strike your paper. Some people, I don't see a difference. Other people can. It depends on how sensitive of a typist you are. But you can just work around with that. Also, this is your backspace. Remember, it does not erase. It just backspaces. The margin release is your margin right here on the right side. Your bell is gonna ring when you get to that margin. That's to let you know to hit your return handle and go to the next line. But sometimes you're in the middle of a word or a thought and you want to finish it out, and you want to... Okay, so it's stopped on me. It's not moving forward. There's nothing wrong with the typewriter. You just hit that margin release, and then I'm finishing my word, and now I can go to the next line. So that's what the margin release is for. If you're using the margin release on every single line, you're not understanding the point of a margin release, and you either need to adjust your margins or adjust your typing. Okay, so you have a half space, a regular space, and a power space. And then here's your shift or your caps lock. Remember that when you're typing, it's lowercase and the numbers. And if you want to use the symbols, you hit that lock, or you hit the shift or the lock, and you can use the symbols and then uppercase. Now, some of you may ask, why are these two keys black? Well, that's a very good question. That's because those are removable. And I'm going to turn this off for a second. In here on those keys, they have a removable. It's not gonna move well, and I don't want to move against the motor. So there are two keys here. Actually, let me turn this on. See if I can catch it. No. So anyway, if you get down in there, you can take off the head and change out the symbols. So this means that these are changeable. Now, I don't have them. They are very hard to find. I suppose if you looked on eBay, you might be able to find some heads that can be changed out for a Smith Corona. That's all that means. Okay, so when you're typing, there's that bell, so I'm going to hit the return handle. And now I'm done with my sentence. So that's all there is to the Electra 120. Oh, one more thing. Sometimes if you're either like the tops of your letters are like faded or not showing up, or the bottoms, you can adjust from the bottom of your typewriter. And right here, I don't know if you all can see it. Right here is a little like lever roller, and you just adjust that one way or the other. Just try going one way or the other, and then keep typing until your letters look the way you want. So it helps with the alignment. So that's just the basics of the typewriter. Oh, one more thing is there are auto keys on the Electra 120. So if you hold them down, they will auto repeat. So the dash is one, the X, and the period, just so you know. All right, so that is the Electra 120, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful.